Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. So before we get down to the nitty gritty, I just want to say a big thank you to Poor Rasmussen, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, for sending me in some absolutely amazing pictures of his Armageddon Steel Legion. There's some absolutely fantastic conversion work in here, although I do spy a little bit of heresy in the form of a Gene Silicult Magus, I assume being used for Primera Psyker. But absolutely amazing conversion work, really, really good models, lots of Forge World bits, just a really good example of a very compact yet highly detailed Imperial Guard army. This is clearly a labour of love. So thank you very much, Paul, for sending me this in. Really, really appreciate your support, man. And of course, if there's anyone else out there who wants to send me in some good pictures of their army, please just send them, put them on my Facebook page, and I'll take a look at them. So without further ado, we're going to get down to the video now. And some of you will have already, well, hopefully read the video title, so it'd be fairly obvious what I'm going to be talking about. But basically, is Commissar Yarrick still worth it? Okay. Now, I am obviously Mordian Iron Guard player, but as you guys also know, I love my Armageddon Steel Legion. And it doesn't feel right as an Armageddon Steel Legion player to not have Yarrick. Now I own the model, I haven't painted up, and he was one of the first models I painted with, not ever, I mean one of the first models I painted with my new sort of attitude towards painting. So he's actually quite high quality, not just rushed out like all my old Guard models were. So I think I always want to take Commissar out, but it is difficult to justify his points. And the problem with him is he's 130 points. Okay, but what do you get for that 130 points? Well, essentially you get a really hard as nails Lord Commissar. Okay, so Yarrick has a 6-inch movement, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 3, toughness 4, so he's got an extra toughness, wounds 4, which is the same, attacks 3, leadership 9, and a 4+ save. So the only difference between his stat and Lord Commissar's stat is his toughness 4. Now, he comes armed with a bolt pistol, which you'll probably never use. He comes armed with a Storm Bolter, which you probably will use, a Power Claw, and the Bale Eye. So, Storm Bolter is the standard 24-inch rapid fire, 2 strength 4, AP nothing, damage 1. Bolt Pistol's the same. Well, it's not the same. Bolt Pistol, strength 4, AP minus 1, which is 1 shot. Bale Eye is a hotshot las pistol. Essentially, his eye is a hotshot las pistol, which is really cool. And Power Claw, literally like an Orc Power Claw, is strength times 2, AP minus 3, D3 damage. But when attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll. Which means he really only has a weapon skill like 3+, because he's always going to use the Power Claw. Now, he does come with some pretty interesting rules. So, he comes with the Aura of Discipline, which is the same as any Commissar. He comes with a Summary Execution, which is the same as any regular Commissar. And he comes, so that's all there's 2 normal Lord Commissar things he has, but then he has some extra rules. He has a Power Field, which gives him a 4+ invuln save, which is better than the Lord Commissar, who only has a Refractor Field and only has a 5+ invulnerable save. So Yarrick is tough. He's got an extra toughness and he's got an extra 4+ save. And he also has the Iron Will rule, which means roll a d6 each time Commissar Yarrick loses his final wound on a 3+, that wound is not lost. So I am not sure exactly how this works. I would like some clarification. If he loses his final wound, do you roll a 3? Let's say he takes 5 wounds. You roll the first dice, he passes. You roll the second dice, he passes. You roll the third dice, he fails. But then you roll Iron Will and you get a 3+. Do you still have to take the next 2 saves? My answer is yes, because it simply says the wound is not lost. It doesn't say he's dead and he gets back up. So it's essentially Essentially, when Yarrick is on his last wound, he gains a 3+ feel no pain. Essentially, that's what he gets. Which is not quite as good as it used to be, because like what used to happen is he would physically die, which means all of the wounds in the wound pool would be lost, and then he would get the opportunity next turn to get back up. So it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still good. A 3+ feel no pain on your final wound is okay. But the main reason why I see a lot of people liking Yarrick is his rule, Hero of Hades Hive. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 made for friendly Ashman time units within 6 inches of Commissar Yarrick. You may reroll any failed hit rolls for friendly Ashman time units within 6 inches of Commissar Yarrick when attacking Orc units. Now we do have the Orc Codex coming up, guys, and Orcs might become an absolute powerhouse, because with an index, they're still very competitive if running Green Tide. Admittedly, they have a lot of useless units. But in the index, with a Green Tide, Orcs are stomping. People will tell you they're still barely remaining competitive. That's not true. I have seen Green Tides take on some of the toughest lists out there, and in the hands of a good general, they're almost unstoppable. So Green Tide is really, really good. You just have to have that dedication. You have to be willing to take like the 180 boys, not get into 100 and flake out. But anyway, discussion for another day. So with Orcs coming out, Yarrick might become a must-have. But the problem is that a lot of people say you take him because he's like Sergeant Harker for Catachans, but for any regiment. It's like, okay, yeah, that's true. But think of it this way. If you're taking a 130-point model to get reroll of 1s to hit for all Ashman time units, if your big thing is, I want reroll 1s to hit, then you kind of have to ask yourself something, which is Commissar Yarrick better than a Space Marine captain? The answer is no. Okay, he's not. At best, he is as good as a Space Marine captain. But he costs almost double a Space Marine captain. So, realistically, he's not worth the points, unfortunately. But it's also, he's kind of redundant because you have the order take aim. And Imperial Guard aren't short of orders. At the very least, you get 10 in a turn. 3 company commanders, 3 platoon commanders, and inspired tactics. You start wanging Creed and stuff in there, then it becomes even less necessary to have Commissar Yarrick. Because guess what? If you're Acadian, you just stand still and you get real 1s to hit. And even if you move with Creed and Kel and all the orders you can get, you're probably still going to be able to run all over the place and get real 1s to hit. So, sadly, it doesn't seem like Commissar Yarrick is worth it. And the last nail in the coffin is the fact that he now costs pretty much the same as 4 normal Lord Commissars. Which is tough. He does cost the same, essentially, as 3 normal Lord Commissars with Power Fists. And they have 3 attacks each, and Yarrick has 3 attacks each. So, it's kind of like, 9 attacks with Power Fists, or Yarrick with 3 attacks with the Power Claw, and they do exactly the same thing. Tough. It is tough. The one saving grace you might say is that, one, he's not expensive for his points. He's just not cheap. He's just not as efficient for his points. The one thing you should take note from Yarrick, though, is it's not rerolls in just the shooting phase. It's rerolls in every phase. Okay? So, he is quite good in a close combat arm because you can get him stuck in. He'll claw people to death. And then he will also be making everyone around him, including himself, reroll 1s to hit. So he has a power claw that hits on a 3+ rerolling 1s to hit, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. Now, one thing to say, if you are going to take Yarrick, is, 1, don't make him your warlord, okay? Because you're probably actually, what Yarrick is surprisingly good at doing is killing enemy characters. He's actually a bit of a character sniper. Because he has a 4+ invuln save, he's pretty immune to most, he doesn't care if your opponent's got a power weapon or not, he's got a 4+ save. Because of his Iron Will, he's likely to stick around, and because of his Power Claw, he's likely to kill a lot of enemy characters. He's kind of like the Emperor's Champion in that regard. The Emperor's Champion is really good at killing most characters. Even ones with the 4th invuln save, he's still pretty good at killing them. But yeah, it's really difficult to justify his points, especially when Colonel Ironhand Strachan and Sergeant Harker combined are only 125 points, and they, for Catachans, do much the same thing, if not more. So it is really, really tough to justify taking Yarrick. But at the very least, he is cool, he is fluffy, and I will say that he won't let you down in a fight, but you've really got to work his ass for him to pay his way. He can't just sit there being a little bubble commander. He's got to get in there, he's got to get something, he's got to earn his points back. And that's it basically, guys. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit of a sad one. Yarrick's not really worth it anymore. It's a bit annoying. But I hope you guys, he's still fun at the end of the day. And he's not going to completely let you down. So there you go. And like I said, no self-respecting Steel Legion commander, can exist without a Yarrick in one form or another, even if you've made your own. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.